After watching the Michigan tape, you learned a lot about our team. We're tough. Uh, we fight, and we're starting to get better, plain and simple. I wish we would have been able to play the way these last 2 weeks that we played in week one, and I think that would have been a different result. But really impressed with our guys about improvement. We went into Michigan Stadium, and when you watch the tape, obviously we had a drop pass for a touchdown. Cam missed and we never get this at Bowling Green. We had an RPO that we had an inside nine. He gave the ball rather than pulled the ball, and there was no one on the receiver from here to Ann Arbor. And that would have been another score. And then when Hayden went in, we called a double move that probably shouldn't have called with Hayden, that OJ just flat ran by. I mean, it was unbelievable how open he was. So we had some opportunities to make that really interesting in the first half. And then obviously with the strength, the size, the depth, and losing some of our key players, we just lost the second half, plain and simple. And that was a lot because of attrition and depth and all that other stuff. But really proud of our kids. We put that one to bed, and now it's all on to Ohio U. I think Ohio U is a outstanding football team. It came down to us and them last year, and when you watch the tape, they physically just beat our tails inside and out. And we've got a huge challenge. They've got one of the better quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in the league. Defensively, they're ruthless. They play as hard as any defense in our conference, and we got a huge challenge considering a lot of adversity that we have to handle through personnel too right now.
Any updates on your injured players?
No, we've got a lot right now. We were scheduled to practice today. We did not, and we're gonna change every single thing that we normally do during a game week up, just to, one, be able to find out who can actually play, two, try to give ourselves a chance with the guys that are playing. So we've got a big challenge this week in terms of, there's some repercussions when you play as hard as we did against a top two team. And so I couldn't tell you right now at a lot of positions where we're at. We're waiting to see who can heal, who can't. But the one thing I can assure you is the people that are in there, we're going to have a really good game plan for. And I can promise you that they're going to play their tails off.
Connor and Camden's injuries, what were they, and are they looking to get back?
I really don't want to get into either one of them, to be honest with you. We made a decision. Connor got hurt in the fourth quarter of the Eastern Illinois game. Practice limited all week. Made a decision on Friday morning that he was out. Cam was the starter, and then we were, you're down to Hayden and Lucian, which were simulating J.J. McCarthy all week. So the ultimate misfortune happened. You lost your second quarterback, and then you're dealing with a third that had really no reps whatsoever all week long. And for what he did, considering the situation that he was in, was pretty impressive.
Just looking at your defense, I mean, to limit a quarterback as good as J.J. McCarthy, force him into his worst performance of the career, how encouraging is that just from a defensive standpoint, what secondary did and everything?
Yeah, and I said it at the end. Coach Lewis, whenever he installed this system, it's identical to Michigan's. Coach Minner does a great job up there. We copycatted a lot of what they do, and they're problematic. I said this 1,000 times. What they do up in Ann Arbor defensively, they know protection. They disguise coverages better than anyone, and we've copycatted that. And I think our guys understand it, and they played really well. They really did. And I thought, considering Michigan's offensive line is, as big as strong, and I mean they've won the best offensive line in the country the last 2 years. I thought our defensive line did a great job of getting off blocks, considering we were playing all Americans.
You mentioned you guys were changing things up because of the injuries. I mean, emotionally, how's the team kind of handling, the guys being out?
Oh, we set the tone right after the game. We went into Michigan Stadium and lost a bunch of guys, and we had a bunch of guys that stepped up and played decent, played well enough, and there's a lot of room for excuses right now, but there is none. I mean, there's a ton. I mean, whenever you look at how many injuries we have, not being able to make decisions with game plan till late in the week, there's a ton of excuses. But at the end of the day, no one cares. And what we've got to do is we've got to come out, and the guys that are on that field, I'm promising you, they're going to play their hearts out, and we will have a good game plan. And this is the opener in the MAC. It's as critical as it gets. I love how they've scheduled it. It came down to us and them the last game of the year, and now they put it in week 3 in between, I don't even know what week, in between Michigan and Georgia Tech. It's fitting. Let's just put it that way. So there's a lot of excuses and all that, but it doesn't matter. We got to go out and play. We got to go find a way to win the game. But I do know this: we need as many people in the stadium as we possibly can. This thing needs to look like Marshall all over again in terms of environment, and our kids will respond, and we're going to play our hearts out. I can promise you that.
Guy, you mentioned the repercussions. I know you have nothing to do with the schedule, but just big picture, what would be obviously the best interest of the team and the best interest of the school are very different things in the MAC. Just if you did have control over the schedule, what would be your ideal non-conference schedule to best prepare your team for the challenge ahead?
You know what? That's a great question, and probably the best off-season question known to man. I mean, which I really do. I think it's a great discussion piece. But right now, there's just so much going on. There's so much decisions that need to be made. I would love to discuss that with you right after the season or off season, because I think there is some strategy to that. I really do. And I think some teams in the MAC have taken some good strategies with that piece. The problem with these things is these contracts are 10 years out. And back in the day, if you scheduled Liberty 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you're jumping up and down. Now you're going, oh my goodness gracious, Liberty is as good as they get. I mean, that's equivalent to playing Toledo, for crying out loud. I mean, they're good. And so with everything that's going on, let's hit that in the off season, because I think that's a great question.
With that, as you mentioned post game, your kids love these opportunities. Ohio State, Michigan, it's awesome. As you leave this game so dinged up, I mean, is it worth it to play a game like that the week before your biggest MAC game of the year?
Great off season question. The only one that I've been familiar with is we beat Ohio State when I was at Virginia Tech, and it cost us 3 games. Then Ohio State comes down to Virginia Tech. We go up, I want to say 10 points. We're driving to go up 17. And they ran an interior dog. They broke Michael Brewer's collarbone. And I folded up my call sheet, and we just went from an 11-win team, which would have sent Coach Beamer out, at least champs on our side. I don't know if we were going to beat Clemson. Clemson was loaded. They had those 4 first-rounders up front, but it significantly changed our season when the quarterback got hurt. We went from an 11-12 ACC championship team to all of a sudden we were fighting to get to a bowl game. So I don't know. Football's football. There's a lot, but those are great off season. I'd love to talk. That would be fun.
You guys are probably going to beat Ohio State that night.
We had a shot.
And just lastly with that, I'll let it go. But football is violent. Any game is physical. But when you guys are playing the number 3 team in the country and just such a physical monster of a team, are the hits? This is obvious, but are the hits different in a game like that versus a MAC game?
I think I think the Mid-American Conference does a great job with physicality. I do. I think the only difference is the number. We'll have 5 unbelievable hits in a game. Well, there's 20 that are taking place. I think it's the number. Our kids are physical. Toledo, Miami, Ohio, they're all physical kids. It's just the number I think that you're taking throughout the day.
You mentioned how tough your team is, and I think a lot of people noticed that on Saturday. How does that feel as a coach to hear that?
Yeah, I mean, now you got to be tough and win, tough and execute. I mean, it's great, but toughness is a huge part of it. And we're going to have to dig down. I'm just telling you, this week might be the most challenging week that we've ever had since I've been coaching here. And we could even go through the dog years. You got to find a way to go compete against the MAC East champions. We're good enough to beat them. There's no doubt about it. But we've got to get our stuff together, get healthy, figure out who's playing, and play our hearts out and see what happens.
You talked about how the prep is different this week, taking today off. What does the rest of the week look like for you guys practice-wise and evaluating for Ohio?
Yeah, we're going to take it really day to day, and as you well know, I love practicing and I love having at least one real physical practice and 1 3/4 physical practice during the week. And I don't know where we're at with it. We made a decision last night that there was no way we could practice today. And so we're taking it day to day. And we were going to have to adapt and adjust. I mean, it is what it is. And we're going to. And we're going to put a good plan together. We're going to get the next man up and find a way to compete against a really, really good program. I think they do it right. I said it last year. I thought they were the best team in the MAC. I don't know if they had the most talent, but they were the best team in the MAC last year. And I know they didn't win it, but when they play together. They don't make mistakes. They don't beat themselves. So, we've got a huge challenge. We've been looking forward to this game because we know how good they are, and we need to go play our best football and find a way to get a win.
And last week you talked about this tough stretch that you have with Michigan, now Ohio, and then Georgia Tech. What are the biggest threats that Ohio poses this Saturday?
No, they're physical too now. I mean, that's what's when you watch that defensive front seven for them, they are physical. I mean, when you run a gap scheme, a zone scheme, they are downhill. They want to kill you. I mean, they play physical. So this team that we're playing against is really, really physical, aggressive defense. And then whenever you flip over the film on offense, the offensive line's physical too. So the reason this stretch is tough is that Michigan was a physical team. Ohio U is a physical team. Georgia Tech, I'm sure, is going to be a physical team. Miami, I know, is a physical team. Buffalo, physical team. So that's why it's an awesome stretch. You're going to find how tough you really are. So, but it starts this week, and we need to find a way.
I remember in 2007, it was a big controversy when Penn State rested their starters at Ohio State. And would your guys kill you if you suggested that?
I would never do that. No, that's not the right thing to do. These guys, I don't care what football game you're playing. I don't care if it's Ohio State. I don't care if it's a game you're supposed to win. You're only guaranteed 12 shots, and you work 365 days a year. And no, I would never, ever do that to a player. Never. Only the way that we would not play a player like Connor, for example. He had no chance. He was ruled out by the doctors. The doctors run everything, and that's why we ruled him out.
There's been a lot of talk recently about just kind of switching gears a little bit, grass versus field turf debate, especially when a player gets injured, like Aaron Rodgers for the Jets last week. Do you have a preference between grass and field turf, and just kind of your thoughts on that?
I really haven't thought about it, to be honest with you. I know as a player, we had the old turf, so grass for sure. When back in the day, I don't know enough of it. that's way out of my scale of thinking. You know, that's probably awesome where I could do a little research in the off season, but I have no comment really, just because I'm not educated enough to say one way or the other.
Any more questions for Scott? All right.
Let's get everyone at the Doit. This is going to be a big one. We're going to need you. It's going to be a beautiful day, and we need this stadium rocking and rolling. We need the student section going, and I can promise you we will find a way to play our tails off, and we'll have a good plan. Come hell or high water. I don't know what the plan is yet, but we're going to have a plan. So